How you doing, guys? Thanks for joining us today. So my name is Hugh. I'm one of the business systems consultants here at Ardento. I'm here to talk to you about leveraging SMS inside Zoho CRM. So we have noticed that businesses to consumer SMS is growing rapidly, and more businesses are exploring the communication options that they have available to communicate with their prospects and customers via integrated SMS functionality. So approximately about 90% of messages are read within 90 seconds. So you can see why it's becoming the preferred method of communication for businesses to communicate with their customers. So today I'm going to take you through why and when to use SMS, some considerations that you need to take on board, and I'll give you a bit of a demo on how to use SMS inside the CRM. So why and when to use SMS? So there are multiple ways, and I'll give you some examples here. So contacting new online leads. So the longer you wait with a new inquiry, the higher the chances are that they will have second thoughts or they'll get distracted and may not move forward. Using SMS to engage with the inquiry shortly after their submission, this can allow you to have immediate contact with them, letting them know you'll be in touch shortly, or whether you'd like to schedule a further discussion with them. Another great tool used is meeting confirmations and reminders. So if you use the activities module within Zoho CRM, SMS is a great way to confirm a client meeting, especially now that on mobile devices, if the operating system can detect when there's a meeting in that message, and allows them to add it directly to their calendar. It's also a great way to decrease the last minute cancellations by sending SMS reminders to contacts when they have an upcoming meeting, 1 or 2 days in advance, asking them to confirm or reschedule. If you use the Zoho deal application, deals module or opportunities module, for example, you can track deal progression or application progression with your customers. So that way, if customers move from a certain stage, you can give them updates that it has moved to the next stage, or you can use it to prompt them if you're waiting for input on them. If you integrate your CRM to your finance system and you have your invoice information inside your CRM, you can use this to prompt and remind your customers if they have any unpaid invoices due, or maybe just a few days before the due date. This is a great way to increase cash flow, reduce that overdue invoices, and of course that tedious task of chasing up with customers for payment. So other things to look at is considerations. So if you've found a use case for SMS within your business, there are a few considerations that you need to make. Number one is, who is the SMS provider? So there are hundreds of SMS providers out there. It can be quite overwhelming if you are Googling it and trying to choose the right one. So the best strategy to look at is break down your requirements inside your CRM and what you want to use SMS for, and match that to that of the provider. So a few things you can consider are, make sure, first of all, that it does integrate with your CRM or campaign software. Does it have an API that you can connect to from other, bespoke applications? If you need a dedicated phone number, right, so that you can have it coming back and forth from the same number. And two-way SMS communication. Do you want to be able to go back and forth inside your CRM to the customer? From a management point of view, an online portal, so you can track and report number of SMSs sent, bulk SMS requirements, and then last of all, probably going to look at is reliability and support. So what you can do is, we have recently partnered with MessageMedia, which is the #1 provider of SMS in Australia. They also have a new tightly integrated SMS extension for Zoho CRM, which I'll demonstrate for you shortly. That's only been released within the last month. When you've got your SMS, when you've got integrated SMS, one thing that some of the providers won't be able to do is look at the mobile number and strip out spaces, or if you added things in there. So one thing you need to take into consideration is the formatting of the numbers inside your CRM. So that means no adding spaces and stuff like that to make it easy for you to read on screen, but we can help with some custom functions or workflows to help format that for you. You're going to have to look at how you're going to use the SMS. So when looking at it, it's important to know the extent of how you want to incorporate it. So there can be a few different things. Do you need the ability to send ad hoc SMSs? So these are messages with no automation. Go to the contact, choose send SMS and send it. Are you going to be using SMS for automation only? Is it by me, create a trigger in the CRM link to a workflow, send it out based on a stage like we mentioned before, or if it's upcoming 2 days before a meeting? The other thing you need to consider is bulk SMS. Either whether or not you want to send it ad hoc bulk SMS or whether you're going to use it for SMS marketing. Legalities is a pretty big one too to get your head around if you're going to be doing this as well. When you're sending SMS, it's important to understand that the laws around spam in your relevant country. In Australia, there are rules around messaging people when the message is commercial in nature, which means it contains an offer, an advertisement, or a promotion. If your message is commercial in nature, you must have the contact's permission to send the message, include your details in the message, and have a way for them to unsubscribe and stop receiving messages. Messages that aren't commercial in nature, such as your application updates or your meeting reminders, they are not classified as spam. And if you need any more information on this, you can go to the Australian Communications and Media Authority website. CRM extensions. So most of these SMS providers will connect to Zoho CRM through an extension. So this allows for like a much better experience. It's native to the application. Some SMS providers require a third-party connector built by an external company. It's going to become a little bit of an issue if something goes wrong with the extension. It's because it's not the provider's problem or Zoho's problem. There's something wrong with a third party. So if it does go wrong and you need to reach out to a third party because it's been deprecated or some features are not available anymore, it can become a little bit of a problem. MessageMedia, which we've partnered with recently, has this new tightly integrated extension called Smooth Messenger. They also have local support and are available to help you if you have any issues with that. So for now, I'll show you how we can use this inside the CRM. So I'll show you the demonstration. I'll show you how to send a once-off SMS, how to show you how to create an automation, and how you can use it to send bulk SMS with inside campaigns. So you can see here on my screen, we have the standard Zoho login. We've logged in. We can see our available contacts that are here. So if I navigate to Sam's contact here, for example, we can open up that contact. You can see I've got a bunch of information that's available inside this here. What the extension for the Smooth Messenger does is installs a messenger button here. So you can click this button and that'll load up a little widget inside the CRM. This allows you to send a message. So we can send it from a pooled number, or if you had a dedicated number, you could send it from that. You can choose the notifications, who's going to be notified if they reply. We can have templated response, so you can have a bunch of templates here, or we can choose to send a blank SMS. You can then choose, obviously, to send it now, or you can schedule it for later. One of the key features on this one, though, is it does have this integrated widget in the related list on the side. This allows us to send messages directly from here in a iPhone-style iMessage that goes back and forth. So this way, if Sam does respond, it will come back in here and we can see a chain of all messages sent there. You can refresh your page here, check if you've got any other messages. If anything comes back in, it will. Other options you can also do inside here in the contacts. If we go to contacts, we can actually choose to send bulk ad hoc messages as well. So if we select these 4 people, we can use that same feature as before, send a bulk SMS. And inside here, it's the same widget that opens up. You can choose the same number, who it's going to be sent to, if they are templated or blank, confirm that here, and then we can choose to send that straight away. Other great feature of this is the automation. So we go across here to some workflow rules. We can see here that I've set up one here for the SMS meeting confirmation. You can also do one on SMS reminder. If we open up this workflow rule, this rule is going to be executed when the meeting is created, and it's going to be executed for all meetings. And what you do inside CRM is you can create an action, and that is to create a record. Inside that record, we create a Smooth Messenger record, which is a module inside the CRM. We can name this message template. who is the message owner, which would be linked back to the host of the meeting, the contact number that we're going to be sending it to. So that is the contacts module and the mobile. What the message is. So we can say here, your next message will be on, and we can use the merge tags from that meeting record to show meetings from, regards, and then who is sending that. We can link that one back here to the record itself. So we can click save. This will now trigger and provide a meeting reminder on that person's phone, which they can then save into their calendar. Next thing we can look at too is Zoho Campaigns. So inside Zoho Campaigns, the MessageMedia does natively integrate, so we can just connect it as an application. And then we can create what is called SMS Campaigns. Inside SMS Campaigns, you can create a brand new campaign from scratch. See our t-shirt promo that's coming up. Inside here, we would choose our recipient list as we would normally. We map the fields to the country, so it knows which country code to use, the recipient's phone field, and then here we can create the SMS content. And that is simple by using merge tags as we did before. Just remember, you've got to include the opt-out, reply, unsubscribe. Make sure that is because it holds a bit of a commercial message. Best thing about MessageMedia, if we're sending it through there, if someone does opt out or unsubscribe, that is all handled by MessageMedia. So inside that portal, that person will be opted out from receiving SMSs from you. That way, if you do go to send them in the future and they're in a list, you don't have to worry. It will just not get sent through back to that contact again. So that's one of the great new features that's available.